question for all of the Republican pro-life people out there. When in a person's life do you stop being pro-life? At what point does the child's life that you fought so hard to protect now no longer matter to you? Is it as soon as they're born? Is it as soon as they're born brown or black or female? Do those lives now matter less to you? What if the child is born into poverty? Is that not something we should care about and take care of and help? What about as soon as the child enters a public school? Are their lives not as important as guns?
I'm going to say this as somebody who for many, many years considered myself pro-life in the fullest sense of the word, including anti-death penalty, full support for social safety net programs, especially but not limited to Medicaid, SNAP, WIC, TANF, someone who has always supported common sense gun reform, and maybe, although what's happening in the United States might be making me re-question my position on this, pro-prison abolition. Oh, obviously, also the health and life of the mother. Let me just tell you, nobody in the pro-life movement gives a shit about anybody that is not a fetus. They don't even care about newborns. In fact, the glaring hypocrisy, the inhumanity, the disregard for human life, the lack of compassion was one of the big reasons that I started deconstructing from and leaving the church that I was a part of for many, many years. I really, really appreciated this creator's video because for me, I could not understand how at the time I was a Christian, Christians could be saying that they are pro-life, but then be vehemently opposed to programs that feed hungry children, provide health care to pregnant women, babies, little children. I couldn't understand how people could say that they were pro-life, but then do nothing to want to lift people out of generational poverty. In fact, we know the number one reason that people get elective abortions is because of their financial circumstances, is because they cannot afford to have another children. And in fact, many of those folks already have one or two children. And if folks were really pro-life, wouldn't they be working to make it so that people could afford to have kids? Right. And I could not understand how you could call yourself pro-life and then not be actively working to end poverty. How you could call yourself pro-life, but then not want to structure American society and use our taxes to help ensure that all people have a good quality of life and everybody's needs are cared for. I also, again, couldn't understand why people were pro-death penalty. The hypocrisy was just always so incredibly glaring to me. And I always point pro-life people to one of what I think is the best podcasts aimed at pro-life people, trying to explain this situation to them, because they really, really do not see how they are blind. They really do not see the hypocrisy, the inconsistency in their position. They truly believe that they care about they don't have any ability to introspect whatsoever. They believe their position is moral, consistent, godly. I really recommend a podcast episode from the Liturgists. It's several years old. It's a Science Mike and Michael Gungor, and they had Rachel Held Evans on as a guest, rest her soul. And maybe I could talk about my own history in another video, my own evolution in my thinking. But right now we are seeing in the United States, the fascist party truly believes that they are moral and just and pro-life. They are very convinced of their own righteousness. And if you have friends and family who are pro-life, I really think you should urge them to listen to that podcast from the Liturgists, because it is pro-life people of faith that are the target audience of that episode. It's very, very well done. So we are looking at Christo-fascists, evangelicals in this country who now have supported fully stripping away healthcare from 17 million Americans, who are fully in support of taking away food aid from America's poorest children, who are perfectly fine with people dying so that billionaires can get a giant tax cut. And I promise you, they earnestly believe this is the moral and right position. We have people who are cheering on Donald Trump when he has said that he hopes immigrants get eaten by alligators in the Everglades. Human beings who are being deprived of their liberty and stuffed into a concentration camp. If they try to escape, Donald Trump hopes they get eaten by alligators. That is the level of the moral thinking in this country right now. That is the position of the Republicans. That is their view of life, the sanctity of life. They have absolutely lost touch with their humanity. their compassion. I know I've said this many times and I will keep saying it. We live in a country where people are operating in two entirely separate realities. We cannot wrap our brain around their thinking, and they really live a completely different version of reality than you or I live. They truly believe that in the United States of America, what Donald Trump is doing, what the Christo-fascists are doing, is God's will, that they are being blessed by God, that what they are doing is righteous and good. They read the same Bible you and I read about the sheep and the goats, and they truly believe with every fiber of their being that they are the sheep and we are the goats. I don't know how you overcome that. Like, this video, what this creator is saying is so obvious to all of us. The glaring hypocrisy is so obvious to all of us. What it truly means to be pro-life, if the alt-right had not corrupted that term, if evangelicals had not corrupted that term, would be to have a compassion for other human beings, to care about supporting people, providing for their basic needs and a good quality of life. It would be respecting the dignity and humanity of other people and understanding that the social contract should be, the way we structure our society, should be about caring for each other. We are meant to be our brother's keeper. We are meant to love our neighbor as ourselves. And I appreciate so much the sentiment in this video that I clipped here at the beginning, but I don't know how to have that conversation with these people. I don't know how you sit in a room with somebody, you're looking them in the face, and they are living in a completely different reality than you are. They are seeing the same things you are seeing, but they are perceiving them completely differently. I don't know how you have a rational conversation with those folks. I don't know how you appeal to those folks' humanity. I don't know how you reach them at all.